Since Cooper Flagg got drafted in June, so many people are debating who the best one-and-done players are in college basketball men's hoops history. And personally, I think number one has to be Carmelo Anthony. He led a Syracuse team to a national championship his freshman year while scoring 22 points per game and 10 rebounds. Dude was an absolute demon. He just was on a whole nother level than everyone else in college basketball. However, my second, in my opinion, has to be Anthony Davis. And I don't feel like people give enough credit to Anthony Davis. They usually put in Kevin Durant. Some have even put Cooper Flagg. But Anthony Davis is another freshman that was one and done who was not only dominant in the game, but won the championship. If you look back at his season, there was no player that could really contain him, and there was no player that could escape him on the defensive side. He held 10 total Kentucky records. He broke 10 total Kentucky records at the end of a season or during a season, and he broke another 2 records NCAA level, so like of all college basketball in general. The 2 records he broke were total shots blocked by a freshman in a single college basketball season, and that was 186. That is a national record. The other record he broke was in the championship game, where he had 6 in that one game. As far as Kentucky goes, like 9 of them, or maybe it was like 7 of them, are all about blocked shots and single season block shots. But he also broke records for freshman field goal percentage, highest ever by a Kentucky freshman, with 62.3%. And he also broke the single season blocked shots. That was 186 for a Kentucky player and for an SEC freshman. And then he also broke, which I don't think a lot of people knew, was, or not broke, but he tied the single season games played and games started record. He started and played all 40 of his freshman games and dominated in every single one. If you guys ever look up Anthony Davis' freshman year, you'll probably find a picture of him on the sideline, and there's going to be a little graphic that says Anthony Davis blocks 114. Now, mind you, he finished with 186, but this was probably around December, so it was 114 blocks, and he ended up being above like 7 different teams. Division I teams. Michigan State, I believe, was one at the time. I think there may have been like Wisconsin. I can't remember the exact teams. But there were 7 that he himself had more blocks than all of those teams combined that season. He was an absolute menace, and he still capped it off by winning the national championship game, which I think gives him credit over a Kevin Durant or Cooper Flagg. Now, Kevin Durant was dominant. I'm not saying that you could probably argue for Kevin. Maybe you could argue for Cooper, but I think Kevin's a little bit closer to Anthony Davis as far as arguments go. But because Anthony Davis was able to finish the job and win a national championship, I personally put him over top of Kevin and right below Carmelo Anthony.